Leave it, drop it, quit it.
I'm so over that.
Didn't finish, and it was one of it. Leave it, drop it, quit it.
Give it up, babe.
We don't finish, it doesn't even matter.
You gonna finish that?
Of course not.
I'm done here. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the first episode of You Gonna Finish That. I'm Zila.
And I'm Adji.
And in each episode of this podcast, we, prolific quitters, are going to pick something from our long list of unfinished business and talk about it.
Long list.
Long list.
Yeah. Given that this is our first episode, do you want to talk about why we started this podcast?
Yes. So we've been trying to start a podcast for a long time.
We've talked about it for years for sure.
Yeah. I honestly think it was that episode of Always Sunny where Dennis and Dee started a podcast. We were like,
there's a war going on. Is that true? There's a war?
There's two wars.
Two wars!
Yeah. So ever since then, I feel like we were destined to make a podcast. Yeah. And I think I came up with the name before I came up with anything else. Yeah. But it was because we were on the phone a lot talking about your past.
Yeah.
Specifically, because you pick up a lot of hobbies.
Yeah, I'm a serial hobbyist for sure.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the fact that you kind of haven't finished quite any of them, I think.
There's no finish. You don't finish a craft.
Right. Well,
you can master a craft. Now, am I a master of a craft? No. But I'm not ashamed of that at all.
And you shouldn't be. And that's the point of this podcast.
It's about the journey.
It is about the journey. And I've quit a lot of things too. Jobs, also hobbies, mostly jobs. So we're definitely going to get into that. But you know what's funny? And I wanted to save this for today.
Yeah.
I have like such a distinct memory of we were in swimming. Do you remember that? We were in swimming when we were young.
I've taken many swim classes in my life.
That's real. It was one of
Funny enough, not a great swimmer.
I almost drowned 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
But yeah, when we were in swimming at the community college, I remember waking up one morning and really not wanting to go to swimming. Mm. And I complained to Dad about it. And he said something that stuck with me forever. He said, so seriously to my face, he said, Renfros aren't quitters. I know that was
I have not.
So
you should have told me that. Maybe my life would be different.
I know. Yeah, we are. It was the wrongest thing he's ever said. But I'm not a proud quitter, but I think quitting is good. Like, you don't always have to finish everything.
It's so freeing.
Yeah.
It's so freeing. There's no reason to stick with something that's not serving you.
Exactly. And sometimes you quit things and you regret it. But these are all things that people should talk about. So,
speaking of.
Yes.
The thing that we share in common is that we both quit piano.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if you want to talk about how you started playing piano. And I don't really remember if I started the same time as you or if it was like a year later.
Yeah. Yeah, I started piano when I was 6. Our mom is... she had
Tiger mom?
Yeah. I don't want to say that because it's racial, but she... as a strong Filipino queen, she did put us in a lot of activities.
Yeah.
And so
we were booked and busy.
Yeah. So she had us start piano. Or she had me start piano first. And, you know, when you're 6 and you just don't... I don't know. I don't have any memories of liking it or hating it. It just kind of was.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember actively not liking it.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning I was like excited to do something that you were doing. It was like one of those like, oh, like she's doing it, like I want to do that.
Right.
I don't think I asked. I think it was just like when you're old enough, you'll do it too.
Right. No, yeah.
But I was like I wasn't against it.
That's right.
Until I started.
Right.
And it's not like any skill or hobby.
Yeah.
It doesn't come easily.
It
you do
really
have to build
doesn't.
the skill.
Yeah.
Especially at such a young age, like it's like not so intuitive and not so natural for your fingers to be doing that.
And the thing about piano is it taught me a lot. I think of...
Outside of just music?
Yeah, but I don't think any of the lessons served me well. I ended up playing from the age of 6 to 18.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you played till 18.
Yeah.
Like you were in lessons till you were 18 years old.
Yes, I was.
Really?
Same woman. Yeah. And what's crazy to me
like
is...
you were a senior in high school, you were playing piano
yes.
still? I don't remember.
I had my last
That's
recital.
crazy.
Maybe I was 17. Yeah.
I do remember you being, because I remember when we were young, I would see like older kids that felt like adults almost playing in our recitals. And I was like, this is so crazy. It starts off with like 3-year-olds.
I know. And the fact that you quit and I didn't, I think about that a lot because it's not that I didn't want to.
Yeah.
So can you tell me how you decided to quit? Because I don't really remember.
It's funny. It's like you're framing it as I decided to quit. I never decided to be doing piano. Like, I was forced to be doing piano, and I was allowed to stop.
Yeah, so, but I feel like you vocalized it,
yes,
though.
There was a very distinct memory that was the turning point. So, I guess, backstory. Mm-hmm. I was never as good as you at piano. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Okay. I didn't have the discipline to be practicing, because I was very resistant to it altogether. I didn't like it. It didn't make me feel good. Our piano teacher was mean.
She was very mean. She was
a
mean old crow.
Right?
Rest in peace, because she
has passed. Right. So rest in peace.
But she was a mean old crow.
Yeah.
Wait, can I tell you something? I remember my mom like convinced one of our family friends with like 3 kids to like sign up with her because although she was mean, she was very.
She was an effective teacher.
Yeah, she was an effective teacher and very phenomenal at teaching people classical piano. But the mom of that family, I remember her talking to our mom and being like, "Oh yeah, I took the kids out of that class because she is so mean. She's mean." I remember her turning to me and going, "She's mean, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, but like, are you allowed to do that?" Like, I was like, "You just toughen
that's
up."
A disqualifying
right?
Thing.
Yeah, and I just remember being like, "You can do that? Like, you can just
because someone's."
Yeah, I think piano really was the root of all of my anxiety.
Yeah.
To this day.
Like, I remember I would feel so nauseous on the way to practice.
The drives to practice are so
dreadful.
memorable. Yeah. Because you were about to either get like a little bit of praise that would like carry me throughout the week. I feel like it's the validation, like my validation shit, my people pleasing shit. It's all linked to
I
piano.
Never got the praise. It was all bad.
Yikes. But here's the thing that it also... Wait, sorry. Go back to how you vocalized that you didn't want to play anymore.
Okay, so I wasn't so strong. I wasn't practicing. It was really a battle between me and our mom.
Yeah. Like,
getting me to practice. Right. And then when I would, it would be like, I wouldn't be into it, really. Right. And I'd be sitting there crying, playing, like...
Yeah.
And then one year, this is maybe like... I think I did it for 3 years or 4 years. Mm-hmm. So... I did piano for 4 years, and by the end, I went to practice one day, and the instructor went, "You're not ready to be in this recital." Like,
oh my God, she took you out?
She took me out of the recital.
That's crazy.
Which I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
It really
and also,
wasn't
I've been
that
to
bad.
many recitals before and after that, and those kids fucking suck.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I don't know why she singled me out as like, you're not ready for this.
Yeah.
There was private lessons, so it wasn't like a shame thing.
Right. But it was a shame thing.
Yeah. It was like, and I don't know like how much of it was like Ma's like, "Oh yeah, he's not practicing," or like, "I have trouble with practice," or whatever.
Oh my God, you saying that just put me right back.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to be in this damn recital anyway.
Yeah, good for you.
But I didn't have that attitude. Like, in retrospect, I have that attitude. But like, I have that awareness of like, I had this feeling in me of like, I don't even want to be doing this.
Right.
This is actually kind of freeing.
Right.
But I was like so like ashamed and like it was honestly the first piece like feeling of failure I've ever had.
Wow.
And maybe the last. Anyway.
Respect. That's so real.
But yeah, and after that. Like, I think there was one... So that was probably, like, the 3rd year. And then in the middle of the 4th year, I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. Like, especially if I'm not going to put in any more effort to this if she's going to treat me like that.
Right. Yeah.
And I think one day I was crying and, like, having to practice. Because it was so, like... It felt so demoralizing to be practicing for something I'm not even going to be doing.
Right.
And then I think I said, like, "Oh, I hate my life." And that made Ma cry.
Oh, yeah.
And then she was like, "If you don't want to do this anymore, you don't have to." And I was like, "Cool.
Oh, God.
Easy."
Yeah.
Easiest decision I've ever made. Now, in retrospect, do I regret not sticking? Well, I wish I still, like, kept with piano because I think it's such a beautiful instrument. I think it's such a cool skill, cool party trick. But staying in those lessons with that woman, like,
she was awful.
Yeah.
I can't believe I stuck to it all those years. And my thing is, I didn't really like piano either. I think I just liked the praise.
Yeah. People treated you like a true prodigy, and it did feel that way.
Yeah. Another lesson I learned from it, though, is if you practice hard enough, if you just put in those fucking hours, you can do anything. You, like, I sucked. If you really, like, if a real piano prodigy, like, ever saw me, they'd be like, oh, this girl's not good. But she's putting in the work, you know? Yeah. Because, like, if you asked me to play anything beside the piece that I'd been working on for, like, 5 months, then, I wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah. And so I think her teaching methods also weren't even that effective. They certainly weren't effective in making kids enjoy playing piano. But, I just feel like I learned a lot of shitty things from piano, and I wish I had quit it. Like when you did,
do you
or
feel
maybe...
like you said praise, like you're yearning for praise. What other?
I think I wanted to make mom happy. You know.
Yeah.
It made her really happy.
It did,
and
our whole family actually.
Yeah.
They love to get. And it's part of Filipino
culture.
It's such
a fucking Filipino ass thing.
It's like
Dad was never about us being part of this thing. So it was crazy, but. I just got a lot of anxiety from that. It's, funnily enough, later in life, like maybe 3 years ago. Oh, thank you. Later in life, maybe like 3 years ago, I took ukulele lessons with my friend. Because I love music. And good things I got out of piano, like, I'm a little bit musical now. Yeah. I love to sing. I love to write my own songs. So it's, like, nice to have that semi-skill. But, I wanted to take ukulele lessons. I took them with my friend. Super chill dude. Bay Area kind of guy. And I was, like, playing things. And I'd be like, oh, fuck, sorry. I'm so sorry. Fuck. Like, you know, and he was like, please calm down. Please.
It is the ukulele.
No. He was like...
the most chill instrument on earth.
Right. With the most chill person on earth. And he was like, so what do you want to learn to play? And I was like, you need to teach me, like, what... the basic skills are in music theory. And he's like, we could play Paramore or High School Musical, you know, like he thought it was important, like, that I enjoy playing the music and the music theory will come and, like, the dedication will come, you know. So that was a good, like, antidote to the 12 years of trauma. No. Okay. And that's why we have the podcast. Oh, that's a good one to talk about. But
yeah, and I don't have, like, I think the most positive memory I have with piano was actually with a different teacher. Remember, because when we first started at a community college with the same instructor, but it was like you rotated between 3 different teachers.
Yes.
And then we transitioned to private, like, lessons with her. But one of the ladies, I think she was Filipina too.
Mm-hmm. I remember her. She was sweet.
Yeah, and I just remember she played, like, the Charlie Brown
theme
song.
Yeah.
And we would run around the piano and dance. That's the only positive memory I have from piano lessons.
That's how it should be for children.
Yeah. But I also remember that she said that I look like Don King because my hair, and we're going to have to flash a picture of who Don King is. And that stuck with me because that's pretty racist.
Very.
Now, was it a little accurate? Because my parents never really put too much effort into my hair at that age. Maybe, but not cool to say.
The other thing about taking lessons with the mean lady was she would be like, sometimes I would not have practiced, and she'd be like, oh, I could tell you practiced. You did so good.
She's bullshitting.
Yeah, and then other times it would be like, I'd worked really hard that week, and she'd be like, you didn't do anything at all.
It's completely her move.
It was completely, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't accuracy of reading when I would be able to practice. So it also just felt kind of like I never knew when the anxiety would be over.
Yeah.
Like, me practicing
did it
so
make you
hard
feel any better?
Didn't, yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's some sort of, like, torture technique, if I'm being real. Like, I think that...
So she was trying to do positive reinforcement when you're doing bad and negative reinforcement when you're doing good.
It wasn't always. It was random. And, you know, I listened to a podcast once about how you should treat your own discipline and your own work. So, like, let's say I'm trying to get better at running and jogging. If I run 3 days this week, I shouldn't go, oh, I did so good. because your brain makes you think like, oh, I don't have to keep going. But you also shouldn't be like, oh, I'm terrible at. The science guy, literally said flip a coin, and if it's tails, reward yourself, and if it's heads, then just go about your day as normal. And that is supposed
That's
to.
so unrealistic.
But I feel like she listened to that podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I did learn some really beautiful classical pieces. From that.
You were really. I mean, you said that I guess because you practiced, but you were really good. Like,
yeah,
people were excited to hear you play.
I use some of the songs in my little videos now, and that's the only good thing that I feel like I got from it. I think I did learn self-discipline. I remember getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning and playing that fucking piano before school.
That's so nuts.
So, like, it's good to know that I can do stuff, but it's not always good. Yeah, I need to want to do stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And that's still a lesson I'm trying to learn, honestly.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do this podcast.
Yes.
So, I'm glad that
and we did kind of have to overcome quite a bit of technical challenges to get this set up. There are several cameras. The mics weren't working, and we were trying to use different softwares.
Yeah.
We almost gave up.
I almost gave up.
Yeah.
We kept kind
of like testing the waters of like, should we call it now?
Are we gonna do this?
Should we call it now?
You know.
The cats really have been testing.
Yeah.
The limits of continuity here.
But yeah.
I recently, so after quitting piano, I tried to reclaim piano in my teen years.
Okay.
By trying to learn how to play more contemporary music.
I remember the
lessons are also strictly classical.
Right, yeah.
So I tried to learn how to play Someone Like You by Adele, Love Song by Sarah Bareilles, and Halo by Beyonce. How I didn't know I was gay earlier, no idea. But I love a good ballad.
Yeah.
So tried to learn those, and I was successful in learning the treble clef.
Right. Yeah.
Never so good with my left hand. It's part of the problem. It was always the left hand was giving me issues.
Right. Yeah.
Which you would think that playing piano, like those lessons in my very formative years, would have made me more, not ambidextrous, but like more savvy with both hands.
Yeah.
But often I'll find myself doing a task that's much harder to do with one hand with just my right hand and realize that, I have two hands.
Oh.
So I don't think I was ever really meant to be playing piano.
That's real. I also learned that I recently become a nails girl, and I remembered that one of the reasons I never did it before was because she was always making me cut my nails, and I hate her for that.
Yeah.
I hate her for many things, but I love this shit.
Yeah. That's actually, that was the ASMR podcast. Do you remember, and this I think is a good illustrative story on our experience with piano, or your experience specifically. Mm-hmm. It was around this time of year, it was Christmas time, winter time, and we were playing a game. Maybe we weren't even playing, and I just kind of like struck up a game in the kitchen. And I tried to lock you in we have like a mud porch.
God, yeah.
And so I pushed her into the mud porch and tried to close the door, but she had her hand in the hinge of the door.
Yeah, just my pinky.
Just your pinky, yeah.
Yeah.
And I slammed the door and just you started screaming.
Yeah. It was bad. It came out purple, and huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was big, disgusting. And do you remember what our mom said?
No. What did she say?
She said, "What is wrong with you? She plays the piano." That's the first thing she says. Not, "Oh, are you okay?" It was scolding me and about you playing the piano. And to that end, Zila learned how to play the piano with 9 fingers.
Really?
You played the piano with a fucking cast on your pinky. You did not skip a year.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
I don't remember that at all.
Do you remember?
I remember the finger thing. I don't remember continuing to play piano.
Yeah, you literally would play like this.
Ooh, I blocked a lot of those years out. That was crazy.
It was crazy that they made you, or I don't know whose decision it was.
It was me. That's the thing. Like, I never said, like, I don't really want to do it. I do remember, like, maybe not too many years after them asking me, like, do you still want to do this? But I think I was so hooked on, like, the praise, and I was like, this is just part of my identity now. Yeah. Teenagers don't have a lot going for them, you know? So like,
it's my thing.
Yeah, it's my thing, and so I just like kept doing it. But did it really bring me joy? Yeah, there were things that really brought me joy, but
Yeah.
those weren't considered the things that, like my video editing.
Yeah.
Was not.
Never really invested
That was just
in
my
that
little
one.
thing.
Yeah, it's just like you had to do that on your own.
Right.
And it's
you can't
interesting.
video edit at a Filipino family function,
Yeah.
so it's not important.
You show like a music video you created.
know?
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of how I often felt like we weren't put in competition, but I was always being compared to you.
Right.
And so I think that was part of it being easier for me to quit, because it's like I can't compete here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
you can't compete, you don't compare.
period. You know,
so.
I'm.
But I always hated that.
Yeah, it's like,
really
you
did.
be like Zila,
like
do this
that,
like Zila. Yeah. And you never made me feel that way, to your credit.
Yeah.
It was always coming from our family.
Right.
Not even necessarily our parents, like our extended family.
It's very annoying. Yeah. But yeah, I have used piano now purely to write musical songs that I come up with.
Like to do the melody?
Yeah, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I forgot. I learned, tried to learn how to play those songs. Was successful with my right hand to some extent. Like, I really just wanted to know how to play the chorus.
Right.
Like, who cares about the whole song? Also, I'm not really like, who has the time really to learn the whole song?
Okay.
Really, what I wanted is someone to play it while I sang. I'm a singer at heart. Can I sing? No, but like I love to do it.
Yeah.
And then recently, so that kind of obviously fell off. Recently, I was like, I'm gonna buy a keyboard. I think I could get back into.
Okay.
I was feeling like in my musical era, there's some other endeavors that I tried to get into. I'm sure we'll talk about it on a different episode, but yeah, I bought a whole keyboard, 88 keys, weighted keys. Set it up, bought the bench. I didn't buy a bench. I bought the stand to put it on.
Mm-hmm.
And my logic often is, if I invest my own money into it,
that's the thing.
It'll
go into fruition.
I'll be like, oh, I spent so much money on this. I have to stick with it. No.
I think gym memberships should teach us all that. Like, you will just throw money away each month for the dream.
Yeah.
And
purely as a vote of confidence in yourself.
Right.
You vote for your dollar.
Yeah.
Now, do you do anything after? It's like a lot of the people's participation in
like
the political
voting.
process.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to do this one thing.
Right.
And then hopefully that'll solve
Get
it.
mad
And it
and
never does.
nothing else happens.
Yeah. But needless to say, I think, so me and Ari tried to learn how to play the Up theme song, which is easy enough.
That's
we did
cute.
learn how to
Ari's
play
your boyfriend.
Yes. Me and my boyfriend Ari learned how to play the Up theme song.
That's cute.
I guess not theme song, but whatever that song is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very cute song. And then we kind of just dropped it.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just like,
Yeah.
we could just play the song on our little Spotify. Yeah. Do you want to go into our segment?
Yeah, sure.
So we have a segment that is called This Week Unfinished.
Yeah.
And it is where we talk about what we haven't finished for this week. So do you want to start? Do you know what you haven't finished?
Yeah, sure. I started watching a show called The Franchise on Max.
Okay. How is that?
No. I didn't finish it. And this is why. I feel like that show, it's okay, so the premise of the show is like, it's on the set of a Marvel movie.
Okay.
And like it's from the perspective of the director, I guess.
Okay.
But the way that the show was framed was like, there's a director and maybe like a production assistant. I don't know the technical terms for their roles. And she's a black woman. But I feel like her character, the way that the show was framed in the first episode made it seem like she was going to be the main character.
Oh.
And then she ended up just kind of being a conduit for the director.
Bait and switch.
Yeah.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, oh, like, this could be funny. Then, so she has a very flat personality. And granted, I only watched maybe 4 or 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's enough time to know where a show is going.
Yeah. If you're not hooked in
and it feels like a show written by AI.
Ooh.
Like, in that it just feels a little soulless.
Yeah.
Like, the jokes aren't really landing.
Yikes. I'm really scared about that.
And there's no plot. There's like, it's not an interesting plot. I'll say that.
That's
and
real.
maybe it's made for people who work in TV and movies. That's
maybe.
like an inside joke that I'm not getting. but I just find it deeply interesting.
That's very
and
real.
entertaining. So I won't be finishing that.
Thumbs down from you. I'm never gonna watch that then. I never even heard of it, honestly. Is it popping? Is it popping off?
You know, sometimes they just serve you something like that just came out. And
Yeah.
it kind of just fades away. I think that's
real.
probably what one of those things is. Sorry if, this ever.
Yeah. AI is very scary to me.
I don't know for a fact it was from AI.
I know,
probably
but
doubt
I
it.
feel
But
like that's coming.
Yeah.
Or like they've tried to,
Yeah. Isn't that
make
what
the
the strike was about?
Yeah,
They
right.
did not win anything related to that?
I dead don't know.
Oh.
I dead don't know. What have I not finished this week? There's like a couple projects that I've been working on that I want to finish. I have a blog. And I wanted to write a couple things for that. I have a blog about being 29. Very interesting stuff. And then
everyone knows 29 is like the age.
Yeah, it's actually, the blog is called 29 is a fuck ass age because it's pretty fuck ass. I just hate not being 30 and still being in my 20s when I feel like what left is there to do? What is there left to learn?
You feel like you lived your 20s.
Yeah, I lived them. I'm done, but I just turned 29. So that's unfinished. And I wanted to also, should I talk about? No, it's going to take too much time. I have a musical idea that I've been telling
But these are things
everybody.
you're still working on. Is there anything that you've like dropped? It doesn't have to be.
That's fair.
I'm
Yeah.
curious.
I think I'm about to drop social media again. I dropped social media for like 2 years.
Crazy.
Period. Just deleted all that shit. And it was awesome. It was amazing. Like,
at any point during those 2 years, did you feel tempted to get back on it? Because you were like strictly off it.
I like literally, like people would send me things. I would be looking at them in the browser, I guess I got a little tempted, usually to snoop, but it was never, like, oh, I need to know.
Yeah.
I'm not that crazy. Sorry. I mean, that's a normal thing, but I'm just not like that. So I got tempted, but I never did it. And it was my brain, your brain gets rewired. And I feel like my brain's getting rewired again in the bad way, where I like crave it and my brain pixels are like.
Was it like an attention span thing? What do you mean?
Yeah, my attention span is bad. I keep opening the apps and like doom scrolling for no reason. I feel like you're filling your mind with garbage. And I used to read books,
Oh.
I used to.
In the past 2 years, you've been reading books.
Yeah. So there's a book I haven't finished, but I haven't dropped it yet because
You haven't called it.
Yeah, I haven't called it. Maybe next week.
Time of death next week.
Yeah, but that's that.
Cool.
Well,
I guess we'll wrap it up. I mean, 30 minutes. I think that's a good
Yeah.
time for a first episode at least.
Facts.
Thanks for listening.
Thank
this
you
has
so
been the You Gonna
much.
Finish That podcast. Remember that if something's not serving you, don't have to finish it.
You do not.
And if it is serving you and you don't feel like it, don't have to finish that either. Feel free to connect with us on TikTok and Instagram. TikTok for as long as it's around, I guess. It might be
Yikes.
put the kibosh on that, but
Right.
at You Gonna Finish That pod. And yeah.
And maybe we'll be back next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
I definitely think that this will either be something we drop. Well, there's literally just two options.
Yeah, it either is
Either
or
we
isn't.
drop it or this is the one thing that we don't quit.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see either way.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Bye.